Welcome back to The Elderly Health Physician, the show where we bring you the wisdom of Korean medicine combined with the best of modern science to help you thrive after 60. Today's episode is one I have been waiting to record for a long time. What we are covering is not a prescription. It is not a supplement. It is 3 specific physical techniques, practiced in sequence, taking less than 5 minutes total, that Dr. Henry Lee says can begin restoring sensation to numb, tingling, and what many seniors call dead feet. Not in months, not after surgery. Beginning as early as the next morning. Now I want to be very upfront about something. The third technique, the 60-second foot press, is the one Dr. Henry Lee calls his most powerful clinical tool for foot nerve reactivation. It is the one patients describe as life-changing. And we are going to cover it in complete detail. But it has to come last because the science behind why it works depends on what comes before it. So stay with us through all 3. I promise the payoff is worth it. Joining me today is Korea's oldest practicing physician, Dr. Henry Lee. He has spent over 40 years treating seniors and studying the ancient principles of Korean medicine that have kept generations living strong and walking steady into their final decades. Today, he is sharing 3 techniques he gives to every patient who comes to his clinic with foot nerve problems. Doctor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Let me begin with what is actually happening inside a senior's foot when they experience numbness, tingling, or that sensation of walking on cotton. The human foot contains more than 7,000 individual nerve endings. These nerves perform 2 essential jobs. They send sensory information upward to the brain, temperature, pressure, position, and they receive motor signals back that regulate balance and fine movement. After 60, the small blood vessels that nourish these peripheral nerves begin to narrow. The myelin sheath, the protective coating around each nerve fiber, begins to thin when it does not receive adequate blood flow. And here's the most important thing most people never hear from their doctors. The nerve is not dead. It is compressed, starved of oxygen, deprived of signal. The pathway still exists, and the body, given the right mechanical stimulus at the right time, will respond to it. The first technique is the ankle nerve glide. Sit upright on the edge of your bed or in a firm chair. Extend one leg forward, heel resting lightly on the floor. Slowly rotate the ankle in a full circle. 10 rotations clockwise, then 10 counterclockwise. As you complete each rotation, flex the toes toward you, then point them away. The purpose of this movement is not stretching. It is nerve mobilization. The peripheral nerve is a physical structure that moves along a channel inside the body. When circulation slows over years, the nerve can adhere slightly to the surrounding connective tissue. This gentle, deliberate rotation restores glide to that structure. A study published in the journal Physiotherapy Research International found that daily ankle nerve mobilization produced measurable improvements in sensory threshold scores in adults over 60 with confirmed peripheral nerve involvement. Do both feet. 60 seconds total. Begin here every morning. The second technique is the toe spread and hold. Both feet flat on the floor. Spread all 10 toes as wide apart as they will go, as if you are pressing them outward against a resistance. Hold that spread for 10 seconds. Release fully and let the toes relax for 3 seconds. Repeat 6 times. This technique activates the intrinsic muscles of the foot, the small, deep muscles most people never consciously engage, and it sends a direct motor signal through the plantar digital nerves, the nerves that govern individual toe sensation. In peripheral neuropathy, the toes are typically the first place sensation is lost because they are the furthest point from the heart and the last to receive adequate circulation. By repeatedly demanding active motor engagement from these muscles, we force the nervous system to maintain the pathway. We refuse to allow the body to prune a connection it believes is no longer in use. I have had patients in their mid-70s who had not felt their toes in over a year begin to report faint sensation in the big toe within 2 to 3 weeks of this technique practiced daily.
You know, doctor, conversations like this one make me think about something I came across a while back. It is called the Senior Body Reset After 60. I have to be honest, when I first found it, I was not expecting much, but it completely changed how I think about aging. It covers exactly what we talk about on this show. How to reset your body's natural rhythms after 60. Better sleep, stronger circulation, sharper memory, more energy throughout the day. And it does all of that through daily habits, not medications. No complicated routines. Just clear, practical steps backed by the same kind of medical thinking we explore in every episode. If you are someone who wants to take what you hear here and actually put it into action, this is a resource worth looking into. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Now, doctor, please continue.
Before I describe the third technique, I want to give every person listening one number that I believe should make this a non-negotiable part of their morning. Not something they do when they remember, but something as automatic as drinking a glass of water. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed over 900 adults over the age of 65 for a period of 4 years. The researchers found that individuals with measurable loss of plantar sensation in the soles of the feet, had nearly 2.5 times the fall risk of those with intact foot sensation. 2.5 times. And the vast majority of these patients had been told to simply be careful, to use a cane, to hold the railing. No one treated the nerve. That is not medicine. That is accommodation. What I'm about to describe is treatment. The 60-second foot press works by activating 4 specific pressure points on the plantar surface of the foot, the bottom, that correspond to the 4 primary nerve branches that govern all sensation and motor feedback in the foot and lower leg. In Korean medicine, we call these pressure corridors. In modern anatomy, they map to the medial plantar nerve, the lateral plantar nerve, the sural nerve, and the posterior tibial nerve. This technique must be performed before the feet touch the floor in the morning. This timing is not a preference, it is the mechanism. When you sleep, circulation to the extremities slows dramatically. The peripheral nerves receive almost no stimulation throughout the night. When you stand up abruptly, the nerve system is asked to perform full weight-bearing function without any preparation. This is why morning numbness and morning instability are at their worst. We are going to interrupt that pattern. Before the feet touch the floor, we activate the pathways first. Point 1 is at the center of the heel. Place the thumb of your opposite hand, or a knuckle if the thumb lacks strength, directly at the center of the heel pad. Apply firm, circular pressure, not a gentle touch. Firm, deliberate circular pressure directed downward and slightly inward. You are not massaging the skin. You are communicating through the skin to the nerve below. Hold for 15 seconds. And here's the element that makes this technique fundamentally different from any massage you have tried before. Breathe slowly while you press. 4 counts in through the nose, 4 counts out through the mouth. This is not relaxation, it is physiology. When you slow your breathing deliberately, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the restorative branch. Blood flow to the extremities increases measurably. The peripheral nerve receives oxygenated blood at the exact same moment it is receiving mechanical stimulation. Signal and fuel arrive together. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Physiology demonstrated that slow diaphragmatic breathing during peripheral nerve stimulation increased nerve conduction velocity significantly in adults over 60, compared to identical stimulation without conscious breathing. The breath is not optional, it is the amplifier. Point 2 is the ball of the foot, the thick pad just behind the base of the toes. Place the thumb at the center of this pad. The medial plantar nerve branches outward here toward the first 3 toes, which carry a disproportionate share of your balance load during every step you take. Apply the same firm circular pressure for 15 seconds. Breathe slowly throughout. You may feel a faint pulse beneath your thumb. That is the plantar artery. It confirms you are in the correct location and that blood is actively moving through the tissue. If you feel nothing, either no pulse or no sensation in the foot itself, continue applying pressure. The nerve receives the signal long before the brain begins to consciously register it. I tell my patients, speak to the nerve the way you would speak to someone who has been asleep for years. Patiently, consistently, every morning. Point 3 is the highest point of the medial arch, the inner side of the foot at its peak. This connects to the posterior tibial nerve, which travels upward along the inside of the ankle and feeds into the lumbar spine. Stimulating this point does not only activate the foot, it sends a signal up the entire nerve chain. Apply firm circular pressure for 15 seconds. Breathe slowly. Some patients feel a faint sensation radiating toward the ankle during this point. That is the nerve pathway coming alive. For others, this is the most numb point of all four, which tells us exactly where the blockage is greatest and where the most consistent practice is needed. Point 4 is the most critical location of the entire protocol, just below and slightly behind the inner ankle bone, what anatomists call the tarsal tunnel. This is a narrow, fibrous channel through which the posterior tibial nerve passes before branching into the foot. In seniors, this channel narrows progressively due to chronic low-grade inflammation, reduced connective tissue elasticity, and decades of compressive load. The nerve does not break, it simply tightens, and when the channel tightens, the signal starves. Place 2 fingers just below the inner ankle bone and apply sustained, directed pressure inward and slightly upward. Not circular, sustained and directed. Hold for 15 seconds. Breathe slowly. Some patients experience a faint electric sensation radiating toward the toes. Others describe warmth. Both are exactly the response we are looking for. Both mean the tarsal tunnel is responding. 4 points, 15 seconds each. 60 seconds. Every morning before the feet touch the floor. And I will add one final element for those who want to extend the effect by 30 seconds. After the press, before you stand, place both feet into a basin of cool water. Not cold enough to cause pain. Cool. The temperature contrast causes the blood vessels to rapidly dilate and constrict in alternation, a mechanical pumping effect that drives freshly oxygenated blood into the smallest capillaries that feed the nerve endings. Combined with the press, this creates what I describe to my patients as a complete morning reboot for the peripheral nerve system. I want to address the question I receive more than any other from new patients: how long before I feel something? The honest answer is that it varies. Some people, those with mild to moderate compression and relatively intact circulation, begin to notice faint changes within the first week. Warmth that was not there before. A tingling that is slightly different from the usual numbness. A clearer sense of where the floor is beneath them. Others take 3 to 4 weeks before any conscious sensation change registers. And a small number take longer. What I tell every single patient is this: the nerve is responding from the very first day, even when you cannot feel it responding. Nerve conduction does not announce itself immediately. It rebuilds quietly. And one morning, often without warning, something that has been absent for months or years will simply be there again. That is not a miracle. That is the body honoring a consistent signal. Let me tell you what this combination did for one patient. A woman who is 72 years old, a retired music teacher who came to me after her second fall in a single year. She had fractured her wrist in the first fall. She described her feet as walking on a deflated mattress. Nothing sharp, nothing clear, everything muffled. She had tried specialized shoes, a cane, physical therapy focused on strength. But no one had treated the nerve itself. We began all 3 techniques in sequence every morning: the ankle glide, the toe spread, and the 60-second press with the cool water finish. Within 3 weeks, she reported the first return of real sensation in over 2 years, a faint warmth in the left heel. Within 6 weeks, she could feel the difference between carpet and hardwood without looking at her feet. Within 4 months, she returned her cane to the closet, not because anyone told her she should, because she no longer felt she needed it. The body does not break, it waits. And when we give it the right signal consistently, every single morning, it responds. Your feet have carried you through every important moment of your life. They deserve 60 seconds of your morning. Give them that, and they will carry you further than you think.
Dr. Henry Lee, that retired music teacher returning her cane to the closet after 4 months, That is the kind of outcome that changes how a person thinks about aging entirely. And what strikes me most every time we have these conversations is how accessible these techniques are. No equipment, no prescriptions, no procedures. Just the right signal at the right moment, applied with patience every morning. Let me bring this together for everyone watching. 3 techniques, practiced in sequence before the feet touch the floor. First, the ankle nerve glide. 60 seconds on each foot, 10 circles each direction, with a toe flex at the end of each rotation. This mobilizes the perineal nerve and restores physical glide to the nerve pathway. Second, the toe spread and hold. 6 repetitions, 10 seconds each, both feet flat on the floor. This forces the nervous system to maintain its connection to the intrinsic foot muscles and the plantar digital nerves. And third, the 60-second foot press. 4 pressure corridors on the plantar surface, 15 seconds each, with slow, deliberate breath and a cool water finish. The heel center, the ball of the foot, the medial arch peak, and the tarsal tunnel just below the inner ankle bone. This is the technique that completes the sequence, and the one that, in Dr. Henry Lee's 40 years of practice, has produced the most consistent, most meaningful results. If you want to build on what you heard today and take these habits into a full daily protocol, the Senior Body Reset. After 60 is exactly that. A complete roadmap for resetting circulation, balance, nerve health, sleep, and more after 60. Do not wait another day. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. If today's episode helped you, share it with someone you love, and leave a comment right now telling us, which of the 3 techniques are you going to try first? We read every single one.